Hey everyone, I got tagged on a couple of, actually I got tagged on one post done by a fellow Jiu-Jitsu black belt who was tagged by two of my students. And the post was about, I guess, this black belt talking to a parent whose child had just earned a black belt in Taekwondo, and how happy the mother was that her son or daughter, I don't remember, would now be able to defend himself. And he was just wanting to shake his head about that, and really that in my mind that's true. I kind of want to shake my head about that too. And we've seen it time and time again. Somebody who, especially a kid, in my mind, no kid can earn a black belt in Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. Here at Combat Jiu-Jitsu, the earliest you can earn a black belt is 18, and that's really if you grew up doing Jiu-Jitsu and you just trained and trained and trained your whole life. Or if you're an extraordinary kid. More like, the earliest that I could conceive of them getting one might be age 20, 21. No way would there be somebody, a teenager, let alone an 8-year-old, earning a black belt. But realize that a lot of these martial arts systems that are out now are very commercialized. They're not truly martial arts. They're ways that they suppose the marketing behind them is, have your kid learn self-confidence and discipline. Have them kneel on one knee and yell out mantras. Today is a good day. I don't know, whatever they yell. I have no idea, but I know they yell it so fast because it's so rehearsed. The kids don't understand what it is a lot of times. It's written up on the walls. They're told to recite it, and they can stand in a line. Okay, fine, they stand in a line, and they go through linear punches and kicks and all that. I get it. Does it really teach a kid to defend themselves? I would say no. If you want something, and let's just say not even the martial arts, something that will teach a kid how to defend themselves, teach a kid how to wrestle. I've seen fights in high school where you have one of the guys in the wrestling team and some football player or whatever picks on him. That small wrestler shoots in, single, double leg, it's over. That other kid slammed on the ground, they maybe get back up, it happens all over again, just one after the other. And somebody who's very versed at closing the distance, like a wrestler, like a Gracie Jiu-Jitsu fighter, it's very hard to hit them. Now, if you're extraordinarily good as a striker, I figure you'll get them. You see it happen in the UFC, you see it happen back in the Pride days. But the grappler who knows how to close the distance, I believe, does have an edge over a striker who does not know how to grapple. People who learn a little bit of everything, that's good and that's bad. It's good that you learn a little bit of everything. It's bad in that it's hard for you to get really good at something. Think about, why do we have specialists in the medical field, right? We have doctors, our general practitioner doctor, our internists. They're general practice. But if you need something done, you have a torn ligament or something, you're going to go to an orthopedic surgeon. And you're going to go to one who typically only works on knees, and who just does thousands and thousands of procedures a day. He's done it so many times, he's so good at it. I have a problem with martial arts instructors telling their parents that yes, after 2 years, when they earn their black belts, they will be able to defend themselves. They started as what they call like a tiny tiger. They started at 5 years old. Yes, by 8 years old, they can earn a junior black belt or a black belt, whatever. Because the thought has always been that if you're a martial artist and you wear a black belt, you're top of the heap. You've become a master. How can an 8-year-old master anything, right? They can't master anything. They don't have the mindset. They don't have the physical size. They don't have the strength. They don't have the height. They don't have the physical abilities to do what it takes to truly defend themselves. I might have lost some kids that where their parents had asked about jiu-jitsu, and they asked, will my kid be able to defend themselves? Well, defend themselves. What do you mean by that? Versus an adult? No. Versus other kids? Probably. It depends how long I have them and how much time you bring them in and how much I can work with them. Having a kid, punch and kick, yeah, I guess if they're extraordinary, then yeah. But if they're 8 years old, black belt, not a black belt. The highest belt that they can earn in jiu-jitsu at age 8 for us is a yellow. That is it. And what's before yellow? White. And then they get to 10 years old, and what can they possibly earn? Orange, right? There's no black belt in there. You know, let's say they've been training all their kid life. They're 16 years old. What belts will they get? Well, either a blue or a purple. That is it. There's nothing higher than that. They have to work their way through that. That gentleman who posted that was right, and I truly believe that as well. But it's really up to the consumer, the parents for your kids, to realize, think with common sense. Use some common sense and practicality, and really ask yourself, will my 8-year-old who takes Taekwondo really be able to defend himself against a man trying to pick him up and abduct him? No. Don't get all caught up when the martial arts instructor that takes your money every month tells you that and puts a black belt on your kid. In fact, I don't know, you know, if you don't have that sense of reality and that sense of common sense, I would kind of walk away. If an instructor told me that my son at 8 years old was ready to defend himself and he's a black belt, I probably would have just turned around and got the heck out of there. It's good for their confidence, but it's also a false sense of confidence. Just keep training. Any art that you do will help you, and it really doesn't matter. You know, there's so many martial arts you can take out here in the competitive marketplace, and any martial art that you do and you practice the movements, it will help you. If you get into a street fight and, you know, let's say you punch the bags, you know, you go to your local gym and you do a cardio kickbox class, you put on gloves and you start punching that bag to a rhythm, right? You may or may not learn how to do it correctly, but at least your body is in the motion of hitting something. And if something were to happen and you had that perfect situation that you were confronted with, and you know that person who was hassling you was just standing right there as if they were a punching bag, and you just went and sprung one on them and hit them, you might knock them out. Then again, you might also make them really upset and then really go ape shit on you. But at least you had that. You know, let's say you did a martial art where you kick a lot, like Taekwondo. You'll presumably develop all that flexibility you need. You'll be able to put your leg up high. You know, if you need to spring something, a leg hits much harder than an arm. So, you know, you're able to wind up and throw that hip in and kick that person in the head. Okay, fine, yeah, that works. But if somebody walks up to you and just bear hugs you from behind and picks you up off your feet and slams you on the ground, then that particular training wouldn't help you. Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, it works in a lot more situations, but if somebody were to just come up to you and swing a bat at your head from behind, no amount of training will help you with that, right? You know, we're not born with eyes in the back of our heads. So take anything that any martial arts instructor says that sounds kind of out there, take it with a grain of salt. You know, and it's not that you want to be skeptical of everybody, because you need to learn something. You can't just learn nothing. To me, that's not an option. You learn something. So at least out of 100 different situations that you may be confronted with, you can at least deal with 5 versus none, right? You know, our contention is that a Gracie Jiu-Jitsu practitioner who's well trained will be able to deal with more of those 100 than another martial art where they'll presumably be able to deal with fewer. So that's not to say that one is ineffective. It's effective, but it just has to be effective for the situation you're in. If you like training what you're training in, keep doing it. Just make sure you look for the practical aspects of it. Make sure what you're doing can be applied practically, because martial arts today have gone soft versus the old days in Japan and China and stuff, or in Greece with wrestling. Way different. If your kid gets a black belt in a martial art, great for him, just as long as you realize that it's different. Anyway, that's all I got. Take care. Have a great weekend. Bye.